Hello, I'm Liam Carr, and I'm a lecturer in healthcare for adults who want to retrain and work in our NHS as nurses. I'm making this video because I want to be your next MP and I want to bring about a change in government. The next Labour government will be in contrast to the current coalition, but we will also be different from the Labour governments elected after 1997. I'm not going to stand here and apologise for building schools and hospitals, but I will admit that we failed to regulate the banks. But I must set the record straight that it was the collapse of the banking sector and the resulting bailout that caused the deficit, not the schools and hospitals built before anyone had even predicted a global financial crash. We also made mistakes on immigration, and we will control immigration with fair rules which prevent the exploitation of migrant workers. We were far too comfortable with the concept of privilege. Our Labour values tell us that it's only when working people succeed that our country succeeds too. The next Labour government will put those values into practice. We are the only party who have learned the lessons of the financial crisis. We have balanced the books by cutting the deficit every year without the extreme cuts planned by the Tories, which would put our NHS at risk. We have a better plan for the next generation. Now, just a little bit about my past. My granddad worked down the pit. It was hard and dangerous work. And he said he worked hard so my dad and my brothers and myself wouldn't have to do that sort of work. But for the first time, that unwritten promise that we make to our kids that they will have more opportunities than we did risks being broken. It's our duty to provide those opportunities like proper apprenticeships and university places with tuition fees cut from £9,000 to £6,000 a year. We will cap class sizes in primary schools, which is a terrible pledge to have to make, because it was already achieved under the last Labour government. It's possibly not as bad, however, as having to re-pledge to cut cancer waiting times, because since that target was scrapped, over 100 people in this constituency have had to wait over 2 months to start treatment following a cancer diagnosis. Just stop and think about the dreadful consequences of such failure. I know that quite a few people will log on and watch these messages with their minds already made up, but I've got a message for you if you are watching this and thinking of voting for the Greens, the Lib Dems, or the former members of the Conservative Party who now wear purple ties that are standing for UKIP. If you're dissatisfied with this government, then I understand your concerns, because the short-term interests of a few privileged individuals have been put before the futures and living standards of us all. Now, if everybody demonstrated that dissatisfaction by voting Labour, we wouldn't just shake the Hexham Tories out of their complacency, we would shake them out of office. I would be a next MP, and I will never be complacent. I will never take your vote for granted, and I would be a good constituency MP, because in my view, that's the absolute minimum requirement for this job. During this campaign, I've learned a lot. I've heard at hustings that the Liberal Democrat, he defended the secrecy surrounding TTIP. The UKIP candidate blamed patients for the crisis in our NHS. The Green is making promises in a way only a candidate who knows his party won't form the next government can. And I've heard from a complacent Conservative who's trying to distance himself from his own party. If elected, I will defend our NHS, I will support family life, and we will build an economy that works for all and not just a few at the top. I know I'm facing a tough fight in this constituency, but it's a fight worth having, because it's a fight for the kind of society we want to be part of. Thanks for watching this, and I hope I can count on your support on May the 7th.